Destination, our nation's capital. Not for the swearing in of our 43rd president, but for the inauguration of Ulysses S. Grant and Harry S. Truman.
Harry S. Truman said that being president is like being a jackass in a hailstorm. All you can do is stand there and take it.
Lonnie Bunch is curator of the American Presidency, an exhibit at the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History, where the nation's toughest job, being president, is explored through a collection of presidential memorabilia.
The hands of Mr. Lincoln.
From the lap desk Thomas Jefferson used to write the Declaration of Independence, to the file cabinet damaged by Nixon's Watergate plumbers, souvenirs, swords, and even a lock of presidential hair. This show is one of the largest ever at the Smithsonian. And there to give visitors a chance to share the spotlight is a presidential podium.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Okay?
Please step back.
Hats off to the presidency. For more on today's Sunday morning diversion and to see many other diversions suggested by our viewers, you can check our website at cbs.com. Now to Bob Schieffer in Washington. Bob, that was quite a day yesterday. Did you have a favorite moment in it?
My favorite moment was having a seat indoors, Charles.
What's ahead on Face the Nation?
Well, we're going to have 5 of the 6 administrations that preceded the Bush administration represented. A group of people who've been there and done that. Former White House Chiefs of Staff Howard Baker, Hamilton Jordan, Leon Panetta, and former press secretaries Marlin Fitzwater and Ron Ziegler. This one should be fun.
We'll be watching Bob Schieffer in Washington. Thank you. Ahead now on Sunday morning. From warheads to homesteads, Bill Geist tours some real military housing.
Up that way, and now we're coming down into what was the command center, coming in through here.
These folks have visited a few years back. It's one of our Sunday best.
The pastoral, peaceful plains of Kansas, dotted with windmills, barns, and silos. A new kind of silo began cropping up in these fields during the Cold War. Silos filled not with grains to nourish people, but with weapons of mass destruction. The Cold War is over now, and all the nuclear missiles are gone from Kansas.
We are going from the launch service building is up that way, and now we're coming down into what was the command center, coming in.
The indestructible silos, however, remain. Ed Payton here lives in one.
Come on in. This is our home area, the entry at least.
Oh, it's starting to look a little more homey in here.
Well, it gets more that way as we go.
What is this?
That was a panel, a control panel that was in the launch control room for years.
Wow.
This is our living room.
Well, this looks positively normal.
Until you realize that this was the control room, and there were men sat in this room around the clock for 4 years, prepared to launch those missiles and destroy a Soviet city.
Wow. Inside this concrete underground bunker, Ed Payton fashioned a conventional 4-bedroom split-level home. Think of it as a gargantuan finished basement. I see you have curtains up here.
Well, we pretend we have windows.
Mind if I take a peek?
Well, go ahead. But
so your view is pretty much what?
Pretty much garments and closet.
Not the Kansas Plains, but garments.
No, sorry.
There's ample room for any growing nuclear family. 18,000 square feet.
They are the castles of the 20th century, built by the king for defense of the realm at great expense to the treasury. And now it seems though the king has sold it to a peasant, and I don't think they've even realized their folly yet.
Ed bought this $25 million bargain basement for $40,000. Yeah. So you got to steal.
I think so. It's nice picking up after the government.
But sometimes his wife, Diana, and his 2 daughters aren't sure whose folly this really is.
When their moods are maybe not so buoyant, they say, "Dad, why do we live in a hole?"
They can always crawl out.
Is that we have an escape hatch over in this corner that allows us to go out and up the escape hatch, and it'll put us up in the North Tower.
Ed built 2 castle towers so he can survey his realm. Like a lot of men, Ed is particularly enthused about the garage.
The Atlas missile lay right in here where we're now standing. This entire ceiling is a door that rolled back to the west.
And it did during the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis.
This is the missile bay door.
And here you are barbecuing on top.
We like to do that.
During the Cold War, students were learning and practicing nuclear attack precautions.
We all know the atomic bomb is very dangerous.
Today in Holton, Kansas, students are going to school in a decommissioned missile base. Mark Hannafin found his missile silo in an ad in the local shopper.
The neighbors like to call us the mole people because we did live down here for a little bit.
And out in West Texas, he's proving that missile silos are not just for home and school anymore. They're leisure time destinations. He uses his silo for scuba and snorkel adventures.
For a long time, we're real quiet about it because you tell somebody that and they figure you've got 2 holes, one in your head and one in the ground.
The Caribbean, it is not.
Clear water is hard to find in West Texas, so when you can find it, you want to go to it. It's something you can tell your people about, you know, that we dove a missile silo and they go, say what?
Say what you will, for Ed Payton, it's not just a home, it's a workplace where he manufactures ultralight aircraft. The missile base even came with its own airstrip. So now, instead of ICBMs with 4 megaton warheads lifting off over the plains of Kansas, it's just Ed.
The ducks and geese here by the thousands in this inaugural season, because if they're on their way...